Well, Dave and Diana, when Michigan lawmakers showed up for a conference in San Antonio last month, they didn't need to reach for their wallets. Lobbyists from across the country were eager to pick up the tab. So what are they hoping to get in return?
If we're really on the verge of another recession, the lobbyists and corporations at last month's legislators' conference didn't get the memo. There, they wined and dined hundreds of state lawmakers and staffers from around the country. It was all a part of the National Conference of State Legislators annual summit in San Antonio. A handful of Michigan lawmakers made the trip, not at taxpayer expense, for valuable training on issues like balancing budgets, protecting pensions, and managing Medicaid. But it's what went on outside of the seminars that brought Action News, along with our sister stations from around the country, deep in the heart of Texas. Sure, there were more than 150 seminars for lawmakers to learn from, but when they were over, legislators were treated by corporations and special interest groups hoping to get on their good side. The lunches and dinners put on by special interests, like this Texas barbecue, paid for by the clean diesel lobby. The parties, they were private. This one put on by the wireless phone lobby. And then there were the freebies, beer tasting courtesy of the beer lobby, relaxing massages thanks to an energy company, and much more.
Now, the other thing with lobbyists, they come in and buy legislators. That is not true.
Since 1998, John Papageorge has represented much of Oakland County, first in the House of Representatives and now as a state senator. This year was his first trip to the NCSL conference, which he says armed him with valuable knowledge he's hoping to put into practice in Lansing. On his first night at the conference, he and the rest of the Michigan delegation were treated to dinner in downtown San Antonio, paid for by a group of Michigan lobbyists. Papageorge says he's happy to accept free meals, but they won't influence his votes.
Do you think they'd be paying for your dinner if you weren't Senator John Papageorge, if you were just John Papageorge?
No. So, I take your point. But that doesn't mean we're for sale. I know why they want to have dinner with me. They want to have a relationship with me because I'm the senator.
It's just a great conference, and I really wish more legislators would attend.
Now in her second term, Warren Representative Licia List says legislators rely on lobbyists for valuable information when it comes time to cast their votes. There's a lot to learn, she says, in a short period of time.
I've never seen lobbyists as somebody who's trying to buy my vote. I see them as educators.
Also in attendance was State Representative Paul Opsimer from DeWitt and Representative Matt Hookey. He didn't return our repeated phone calls, perhaps because a report released last week named him a member of the Free Lunch Club for his fondness of a free lobbyist meal. For the first 7 months of this year, Hookey has enjoyed almost $1,100 in meals paid for by interest groups. Good enough for fourth place in the House. But the grand prize? It went to Senate Majority Leader Randy Richardville, who's been eating quite well in 2011, cashing in on almost $3,000 in free lobbyist meals so far.
It's like a Swiss cheese kind of a regulation system.
For 10 years, Rich Robinson has been a thorn in the side of Lansing lobbyists and legislators, counting the cash spent by interest groups hoping to curry favor. The whining and dining in San Antonio is a symptom, he says, of a much larger problem.
People don't spend money in politics for selfless reasons, and lobbyists don't do things for charitable educational reasons. They've got a policy agenda, and they're trying to drive that agenda.
We need to clean it up.
But even some legislators admit the rules need to be tightened. Westland Senator Glenn Anderson says if buying meals isn't totally outlawed, lawmakers should at least have to disclose all the free lunches and dinners they enjoy. Right now, meals under $55 don't need to be reported. And when it comes to travel, lobbyists can pay for up to $725 worth and not tell anyone.
I'm sure it has some influence on on the legislators' votes. The way to deal with that is that we do need to revamp Michigan's laws as far as lobbying, ethics. It certainly feeds into the cynicism, as it should, of the people back home.
Now, there's nothing illegal about the whining and dining we've shown you tonight, but good government groups agree disclosing who's footing the bill for nice meals and parties is critical in understanding just who has a hand in crafting legislation. Now, to see if your legislator ranks high on the free lunch club, we put a link on our website at WXYZ.com.
Free lunch club. You know, transparency is a good thing, and still in state government, there isn't enough of it.
Certainly not in Michigan, and some folks are trying to change that.